All
Yeah,
right.
there's a few. I've heard probably 25 pronunciations of it over the years, but
That's
once you get it down, it's not too bad.
hey, my last name is Burheit, and for some reason, like I'll say it and people throw K's in there for some reason. It's like it mine seems pretty simple. I'm not sure what's
Yeah,
going on here. I don't hear a K in there at all, but
yeah,
well, how you doing today? I mean, jump in here a
doing
minute
good,
ago.
man. Actually, just got back up to my hometown here in Canada for a couple of weeks, so just waiting on my. It's kind of the time where we wait on the work visas for the import guys, and then so I'm just waiting on that to come through, and then I head back down to Quad here right away.
Are you guys so you guys start the season the 17th of October, right? Is that the
Yeah,
first?
17th or 18th.
I can't remember which one it was.
One of the days in that weekend.
Yeah. uh so are you guys like are have you already been training somewhat and kind of I know you said you were waiting at all, but how does that work?
Yeah, most of the guys, I would say, like for me, I usually start getting antsy to get back at it about a month after the season ends, and we were done like mid-April.
Yeah.
So once especially once June hits, guys are like, all right, I can't just sit around for the whole summer. So I've been guys get back on the ice around June ish, some maybe July, but I would say most guys have been kind of back at it, training and everything like that for a good 4 months now because it's a pretty long off season for us.
Yeah. And then what's it like for you? So this is are you going into your fourth season for Quad
Fourth
Cities?
fourth season in quad, yeah.
What's it like for you to come back to the same team? Because I know like in like this league and stuff, you kind of get a lot of turnover, a lot of shifting around. What's it like to be able to actually kind of build a rapport with the area you're going to?
That's definitely been a goal for me in my career. My first couple years pro, I first year started in Europe, and then second year bounced around a few spots in the ECHL. And I think something that I was kind of looking for is, as you said, kind of somewhere to plant some roots. And Quad Cities definitely is a place that's kind of become a second home to me, and it's been really good to have those relationships with the teammates and the management and from top to bottom. So it makes it easier, kind of going back every year. And you know, I've come close with the community and the fans, and kind of what's on my goal list is to win a championship in the Quad Cities. So to be able to have those relationships and make it mean more playing for the team has definitely been awesome these past 3 4 years.
Yeah, and I mean you do well for us. I mean you're the franchise leader for goals scored, the single season assist record for franchise, and the single season point record for the franchise. So obviously, we love you here too.
Yeah, it's and as far as like the league goes, and I've played in a lot of spots, as I said, kind of in the ECHL, like the hockey culture in the Quad Cities. Obviously hockey in the Midwest isn't, the same as it would be for me here in Canada, but they do a really good job and they put on a really good show in the Quad Cities in terms of, um, how the games look from a fan's perspective, and the crowds we're able to draw in. We get games where we get up to 8,000 people, which is pretty solid for a single A, double A pro league. So pretty grateful to be playing in such a good spot.
Yeah, and like I said, they do such a great job with the. I always love kind of the minor leagues, quote unquote. The like, so it's always for the fans. It's always the players are very intimate with the fans. They love to get to know them, and also like we've gotten to go. I'm originally from Cedar Rapids, so I grew up with the Rough Riders for the most part. But I moved here with my wife. I've gotten to take my son to a couple games now, and it's just very cool to have. It's pretty packed, like and then there's people buying tickets like when you get there too.
Yeah, yeah. If we're averaging 4,500, and on our top end games, as I said, kind of like 7 8,000. You look at some AHL teams, and they don't even average that much. So
Yeah,
it kind of shows just like the niche market that we have there, and a couple other teams in the league do a good job too. And it, you know, definitely still feels like a very, very professionally ran league, and especially our organization, which is why a lot of us, keep playing at that level is just because we still have the opportunity to play in front of fans. And, I look in the stands and I see kids wearing my jersey, and it's like, that's kind of where I'm at, wanting to play hockey and to, create an impact in the community and stuff. Not many guys, some guys are still trying to chase the NHL dream, and other guys, as I just said, just I love playing for the fans and the community, and the relationships I make with my teammates and whatnot. It just feels a lot more tight knit and intimate as it would be, compared to playing when you're making millions of dollars a year.
Yeah. Uh, what? So you said you played in the European League. You played in the ECWL. What's been like the differences, kind of bouncing between those different leagues?
I mean, not a ton of difference. I mean, obviously playing in Europe is going to be a little bit different lifestyle wise.
Mhm.
I played in France for a year. That was different. It was interesting, and that was my first year pro, so it was kind of you know going into a completely different atmosphere. But definitely enjoyed that. I think for me, I played 4 years major junior up here in Canada before that, and that definitely they treat that as very professionally ran as well. So it kind of brought me up to speed at a young age in terms of, playing in front of, large crowds and stuff
Mhm.
like that. So I got pretty used to it. And, um, once I stepped into, the ECHL and the SPHL, it definitely feels very similar. Obviously, you're going to have a little bit of a jump in the overall play with ECHL being affiliated with NHL teams, and you have, younger prospects. But definitely the number one thing anybody will say about, the single A, double A levels of hockey is just the amount of turnover of players there is. With us just signing, everybody just signs 1 year contracts, right? So every year it's pretty much a brand new look to each team and each league, which makes it exciting. For a guy that's came back for my 4th year now, the amount of guys that have came through the organization, and just the excitement of each year being a brand new year and not kind of knowing what's going to happen is definitely exciting.
So you mentioned the turnover again. Is it hard for you at all to kind of build a rapport with some of the new teammates with how much turnover there is, or you guys seem to? I mean, it's a hockey. We kind of all gel together somewhat.
It's definitely kind of like part of the gig, I think. It's good to have a good core kind of nucleus of guys on each team that can kind of lead the way and show the ropes for, if it's a rookie coming in playing his first pro game, or if it's a guy that has played a bunch of years and is coming into a completely new city. I think it's important to have that core kind of group of guys, and I think hockey players in general, that have played at this level for a long time just kind of embrace that whole turnover of guys. And we just try to do our best to welcome guys in with open arms, because you might have 4 new players going into a big Saturday night game, and you gotta catch them up to speed, as soon as possible, because they're about to step on the ice with you for the first time. And you want to be able to, trust everybody that comes in the lineup, and be able to lean on everybody each night to pull their end of the rope.
Right. I do want to jump in. So we always ask this question for the Quad City people. The Quad City style pizza. What is your thoughts on it? What's your favorite pizza place here? We always get into it. We're not the biggest of me and Michael, who is my co-host, are not the biggest of Quad City style. Like I get annoyed by it a little bit, to be honest. um,
Definitely, that's another, good perk of what we do. I mean, if it's a light week, we practice at 10, and then we're kind of out of the rink by, I'd say 1 p.m. most days. So plenty of time to go find some good lunch
yeah,
spots and whatnot. So I've definitely had my fair share of lunches with the boys. I would say I'd probably go with Bad Boys Pizza as my number one in the
yeah,
Quad Cities for places I've been. Trying to think. Uh, Low Pies was
yeah.
impressed with that one.
I'm a big Low
So
Pies
I would,
fan.
I would probably go with those as my top two.
Nice. And then sorry, I lost my train of thought there for a second. What? So I've been a kind of a big. I was always a big Blackhawk fan growing up. Especially helped like the 2010s, kind of the all the with
The
Tays and
Dynasty years.
Kaner. what has it been like for you? Because it seems like over the especially the last couple years, especially with the, um, 4 Nations last year, it's kind of it's getting bigger and getting a kind of a bit of a rise. What was that do you love seeing that? What does that mean to you?
Absolutely. I think as I kind of said earlier, like part of coming back to a certain community, especially where we are in the Quad Cities year after year, just being able to see the growth of the game and trying to get more kids in that area into hockey and kind of just doing whatever part I can, whether how small it is. If I go out there and do my thing for a year and three new kids that year come to a game and say, you know what, I'm going to try out hockey, that means a lot. It kind of makes a difference for us, and it's pretty cool to see the game growing. And one of my goals, kind of going back, is to continue growing the game, trying to get out in the community more, trying to convince more people to give hockey a shot, because obviously, baseball, football, basketball, that kind of takes the cake.
Yeah.
Me as a Canadian, we grew up, on skates before we could walk, kind of thing. So here it's a little bit different. So just trying to like bring that down and, grow the game as much as I can. It's important, and it's awesome to see.
Yeah, even from so, like I said, growing up in Cedar Rapids, even moving there from to here, like, it seems like the hockey culture is a little bit bigger here. Um, I've gotten to do, like, I play the deck hockey. I've got a,
Yeah.
4-year-old son who plays the deck hockey, wants to get out on the ice, like, he keeps telling me, like, I don't know if I'm prepared mentally for the wallet check that's about to be, but,
Yeah,
uh
that's another good thing, is just like what the Leveques have done with the deck hockey in the Quad Cities there. Like that seems to have taken a whole nother level. Like
yeah.
people almost they take the deck hockey pretty serious, which is awesome to see. And if we can get handful, however many deck players, especially the younger kids, that want to try out deck hockey, like, oh, I like it. Try out skates, see how they like it. It's awesome to see.
Yeah. He's been I was shocked. He's been, ever since he could walk, he's been playing with a hockey stick. So it's like, okay, I guess we'll like give it like you said, it's like an entry level to get it a shot. And now it's like,
Exactly.
all right, now I got to research, figure out how we're getting him on the ice. We found that the one goal stuff that they've got here, and we're gonna
Yep.
hopefully get him over the winter. You got any tips that I can push his way?
Just practice and repetition. I mean, that's just like, if and you just have to let them just like find that love for the game, and just like the want to like get better. And I started skating when I was 5, which is probably considered late for a Canadian. Started playing on the ice when I was 6, and I think just like the amount of repetitions and the amount I was, wanting to go on the ice and just like work on my crossovers and work on my skating, shoot the puck, and I'd be out in my driveway shooting pucks when I was, 9, 10 years old. I think just like the want to do that is just makes it worth it for sure.
Awesome. Is it so this is just a dumb question. Is it really like they show it to us like you guys are out like pond's frozen, like you guys are out playing, like pick up like obviously here like pick up football, pick up baseball is like you backyards are full of it.
Yeah.
Is that what it's like for you guys there with hockey?
Definitely. You can drive through any small town Canadian town, and you'll find probably about a dozen road hockey games going on around the town. The amount of times we had to move the net out of the driveway for cars going by as a kid was probably part of our workout regimen. So there's actually a couple times where up here I'd get, you know trying to think of my Fahrenheit Celsius equivalents, but it'd be cold up here, and the our roads would actually just freeze right over, so I could just throw on my skates and just skate down the
Oh,
driveway
nice.
if I wanted to. So it's pretty the amount of outdoor rinks, stuff like that. It definitely made for everybody just love hockey up here. So I think that I mean, in the Quad Cities in that area, I think if they want to take more steps, having more than one practice arena in the area would be awesome, to just have more outlets, more opportunity once there's more numbers. So hopefully that happens in the near future in the Quad Cities for sure.
Yeah. Was there any highlights that you had from last year that you were like, this was like the highlight of playing? It brings you like Do you find yourself in kind of like a lull ever? Kind of like, I mean, if there's a bad stretch of games and you kind of like need to pick up, like what do you find during that to help pick it back up?
For sure. I mean, it's definitely, it's a long season. You're always, no matter how good of a team you have, you're going to
Right.
have ups and downs throughout the year. Um, I think last year, didn't quite like in the regular season. It was too much of those ups and downs. Obviously, you want more ups compared to the downs, but
Hmm.
there was definitely some times where you have a Saturday night home game, you're playing in front of 6,000 people, you have overtime games, you end up winning. Like those are kind of the nights that you live for as a hockey player. I'm trying to think in particular. I mean, anytime you get to the playoffs, which we have lucky to have the last couple of years here. Obviously, didn't go our way against Peoria last year, but I mean, just that first game in Peoria, just being in that barn and tying up the hockey game with like zero point 0.1 seconds left. That was probably one of the coolest goals I've scored.
Yeah.
Obviously disappointing that we weren't able to win the game and win the series in the end, but I think just like moments like that are pretty surreal and what every hockey player looks forward to for sure.
Do you have any like there's a lot of obviously like the superstitions and stuff in sports are pretty big. Do you have any like pregame stuff that like this has to go this way or I need like certain things, even like small things?
Yeah, some guys are definitely more superstitious than others. I like to stay pretty relaxed. I mean, I play keep up soccer with the boys sewer ball before every game. That's pretty common for a bunch of the guys. Get my same coffee. I like the McDonald's iced coffee before every game. That's kind of my little treat, pick me up treat before I head to the rink. I eat the same thing on game days. Actually, we were lucky enough to have a good sponsorship deal with Noodles and Company, so that
Oh,
was
nice.
normally my pregame pasta for every game. So no pasta over the summer because of how much I ate it during the hockey season. I kind of try to stay away, but yeah, I mean, just the same kind of like sleep routine. Our game day naps. Everybody loves their game day naps. Doing that, eating the same, going to the rink at the same time. I drive with the same guys to the rink, just like little things like that, but nothing too particular where if something happens where I'm not able to do one of these things, it's not going to totally wreck my day. But
Okay.
for
Yeah.
some guys, that's kind of that'll happen. So
Yeah. Is there any like pregame music or anything you're like you have like you're what style are you kind of going towards to kind of get you pumped up for it?
I've been the locker room DJ for most of
Oh,
the time.
nice.
I've been in the Quad Cities. My dressing room stall is right next to the player. So
Is that a seniority rank or is that
a little bit. I just like I'm not gonna toot my own horn, but pretty good reviews on the music taste. So I just try to kind of cater to what guys are feeling that certain day. Sometimes we mix it up. If we're on some kind of winning streak, it'll kind of stay the same. I think most of the guys are into kind of like the older rock or the EDM kind of thing, sprinkling a little bit of rap music and stuff in there, but nothing too crazy. And then for the rest of it, usually mornings are more country for us and just kind of tame and chill. But once it's game time, you'll have your guys that'll be having their headphones on and stuff, and everybody's got their little routines. But I try to just cater to what everybody likes, and it's a thankless job, but I definitely do my best with it.
That's awesome. Kind of going into the stadium on game day, pre-ice, do you still get the jitters? Kind of, is there like a moment where you're like still like kind of get those butterflies for a second and then they kind of go away, or are you still pretty tame?
Absolutely. I think once I don't get those butterflies before going into a hockey game is probably when I'll hang up the skates, just because that makes you feel like you're into it and you're into the game. As long as you harness that energy kind of in the right way, right? Um, if it's a big road game where we're playing in Huntsville or something like that, and they got their crowd going, it gives you that natural adrenaline. And for games in the Quad Cities, we got certain nights going on. If it's a Saturday night at home, even if it's even if it's a Tuesday morning game, you got to find a way to, have that, a little bit of energy, a little bit of pump up to get you into the game. However, you got to get there. Um, but I think one of the things, even for me, I go out, sit in the stands, kind of like half an hour before warm-ups and just kind of take it all in where I'm at, and I think that just kind of gets me locked into the game and kind of where I need to be for that night.
Yeah. You mentioned the special nights and stuff. Is there a favorite jersey you've gotten to wear? I know they've done some fun
Ooh.
ones. Or or here,
Um,
we'll do so we usually play a game of Mount Rushmore, where we just do
okay.
like top 4. What are like
Yeah.
your top 4 that you've gotten to wear?
Okay. For sure, the Mallards like alumni or retro like QC night jerseys.
Mhm.
I think 2 years ago that was probably my favorite one of those. There's the Winter Classic jerseys we wore last year around Christmas time that I thought were awesome, which had like the number on the front and whatnot.
Mhm.
Um, Trying to think, Day of the Dead, those ones are kind of cool. Um, and then for I actually love the blue jerseys that we used to wear as our actual alternate jerseys.
Yeah.
Um, Heard some rumblings that that could be in the mix again sometime soon, but hopefully, yeah, they bring those back. But yeah, we've worn lots of cool jerseys. Obviously, we have our military appreciation night, which those are great, and yeah, obviously that they get donated to a good cause and whatnot. We're able to auction them off after the game. I'm always impressed with the amount of people that are looking to buy our
Yeah.
jerseys and donate some money to a good cause. It's definitely pretty cool, and it's cool for us, and it's good for the organization too.
Yeah. Growing up, playing hockey, did you ever have moments where you kinda wanted necessarily like it was too hard, you wanted to hang up the skates? And even now, like, is there just somebody you have like as a support that you're kind of leaning on that's kind of pushing that drive of why you love it?
For sure. I mean, obviously, those ups and downs are going to happen. There's definitely, you go through a stretch of, you have a week of bad games or something like that, and it's like, oh, do I still got this kind of thing? Um, but I think, big for me is having my family, being back here in Canada, just supporting me, my mom, my dad, my brother, grandparents that usually tune in to just about every game from no matter where I'm playing, whether it's in Europe or if it's in the Quad Cities or if it's down in Macon on a Sunday morning, my family's usually
Mhm.
tuning in watching. So, having them to kind of fall back on and just be there if I'm having a tough time. I remember actually just the year I was bouncing around in the ECHL. I went from, I was in Florida and I went to Kalamazoo, then got picked up on waivers by Toledo. And it was a lot, definitely mentally, just like when you're in that spot where you're not knowing kind of where you're going to be the next day. It puts a lot of stress on guys, and that's where you need to have those people to fall back on, and just kind of tell you to keep pushing, and finding yourself too to just know that you're doing what you wanted to do since you were 5 years old,
Yeah.
and it's you just got to find a way to keep pushing through it.
Well, before we wrap up, are you a fan of any other sports or even like hockey? Who's your team? Are you looking forward to anybody? And then like the football
Uh,
season going on now.
Yeah, definitely a big football guy. So been pretty locked into that the last few weeks. Got 3 fantasy teams going and a bunch of being able to watch my buddies and do that sort of thing. So unfortunately, I'm a Vikings fan. I know you
It's
guys are a Bears
understandable. I mean,
podcast,
you
but
you guys embarrassed
uh,
us a couple weeks
yeah,
ago, so
that was a fun game to watch. I was a little bit nervous
and for you.
with I watched the first half. I'm like, this is going to be bad, but fortunately, we found a little bit of juice there in the second half. But
Yeah.
no, football fan. Obviously, most hockey players are. I'm a big golfer, so golf a ton in the summertime, and then I also grew up playing baseball as well, so I'm pretty locked into that. And most Canadians are Blue Jays fans, and they've been having a pretty good run here.
Yeah.
So that'll be fun to watch them in the postseason come October.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate you coming on. Excited to see you come in this season. Get some more plays. Hopefully, get a lot. Like you said, like a lot less lows and more ups for you. But like I
Exactly.
said, appreciate you coming on. Hopefully, uh, we get you on again, maybe sometime during the season. Kind of check in with you. And then
Absolutely.
also, you said you're a fantasy football player. We're gonna maybe next year do guest of and barely maintaining fantasy league. We might have to try and get you on that.
Unreal. I'm in. Count me in.
All right. Well, I appreciate you coming on. I'll talk to you soon. All right.
I really appreciate it, Ryan.
All right.
Thanks.
Bye.